Hi there, and welcome to Sandra's World Success Part 3. If you have got your eyes closed right now after listening to those beats, just take a few moments to gather your thoughts and then open your eyes. Don't be in too much of a rush to think that you need to come back right now. Just gently come back when you're ready. That particular piece of music is specially produced to create the right sort of brain waves to alleviate pain and discomfort. Every month, I will be bringing a new track to the broadcast, so watch out for the next one in May. As I said, you can, if you're interested in more information about the powerful music that is binaural beats, and you would really like to find out more, visit the website that I've put into the chat. And if you do want to purchase any of the music, you can get 40% off with my code SEH21. So enjoy. You will find that the music is not only for relaxation, it's also motivational music as well, available. So just take your time and look at what it is that you'd like to listen to, but all the music is produced for different reasons that you might need help with: anxiety, stress, depression, insomnia. If you feel that you don't sleep very well, the Insomnia album is really very, very good. I use it myself, and it is very, very powerful. So yesterday I talked about success part 2, and I mentioned the 6 steps, the further 6 steps to success. So I talked about accepting full responsibility for everything that you do and never blame anyone for any mistakes that you make. I also talked about taking criticism in a positive way, because the person who has given you that feedback has learned that lesson and is passing it on to you. And knowing what really motivates and inspires somebody to want success, and never express any opinions that you might have unless those opinions are based on your research and truth that you have found out. And also adopt the habit of good listening skills, and only really talk when you have something to say which will bring benefit to others. And also have a really good, keen sense of observation of the small details, and that you know your job inside and out, from the smallest to the largest parts of it. So whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever success it is that you want to achieve, make sure that you understand it, all about it. And never tell anyone to do anything without suggesting why it should be done. And don't be frightened to encourage people to ask you, how do you know? And don't take that in a negative way. Don't take it in a negative light. So today I'm just going to carry on with the next few parts of success. Of course, success is a massive issue, a massive subject, and it's very difficult to pin it down to just a few simple things that you need to do. There are many different aspects to success, and it's different for everybody. So I think one of the things that a lot of us are very guilty of is the fact that we don't do a really important thing in order to achieve our success. And that is that we tend to not concentrate on one thing at a time. We're very much looking for so many things at once that we forget what it is we're trying to achieve. And they do say that when you narrow down the steps that you need to take, the success becomes a lot easier. A lot of us are chasing shiny objects, and that stops the success that we want to achieve, because we don't really know what we want to concentrate on, because there's so many things that just come and take away our concentration, and we think we'll do that, and we'll do this, and we'll do the other, instead of having one goal in mind. So having one particular goal, be goal visualized. When you want to have success, choose something that you know that you can achieve, and visualize that and live that success, even if you haven't achieved that full success yet with that one thing that you want to achieve, but start to really live as though you have achieved it. And that helps the brain to cement your ideas, and the brain then is far better at guiding you. So you find the strength from the mind when you think of the success that you want to achieve. So visualize the goal that you want, and then live it. So I'll do a basic goal visualization little exercise towards the end of this broadcast. So when you concentrate on one thing at a time, you don't get drawn away from the goal. And part of the success of that is that you find the flow. So there's a lot of research out to suggest that when you concentrate on something to an extent that you just find 10 minutes, 15 minutes in your day to really concentrate on that success, and don't do anything else other than do something that is going to bring you towards that success, then success is more likely, because it's not too large. You're in the flow of that one thing it is that you want to achieve. So if success to you that day is writing, I don't know, some emails, for example, you need to write some emails, you need to set up an automation for a product or a service or an opportunity that you're trying to promote. If you spend that time in the flow writing those 4 emails, you're far more likely to have success. And have a time limit on that. So spend, say, an hour on that. And then when that hour is over, move away from it and do something else, and then come back with a refreshed mind. So that is really important to success, that you have a positive state of mind, a positive mental attitude to everything that you do in order to bring about success. And that brings me on to the next point, that this positive mental attitude in everything that you do brings about a positive state of mind. And when you have a positive state of mind, you can quite literally change your life. We should all really think about success in a positive way, because that builds the building blocks to the success. It's almost like the scaffolding. You're building up from the bottom to the top, success in stages. So all time, have a positive mental attitude when you communicate with others about what it is that you're trying to achieve. So as I talked yesterday about your success is my success. And when you talk about your success in a positive way, it motivates other people to want to get involved in your success. And just to diversify on that point, I was listening to, I think it was on a Clubhouse this morning, that someone was talking about that they didn't like the word motivation. And I sort of completely disagreed with what they were saying, because they were saying that they were asking what motivation means to you. So we've all got a different thought process in what motivation means. But when I thought about motivation, and they were saying that they don't like the word motivation and motivation doesn't exist, I was thinking about things like the McGregor X and Y theory, McClelland, the need to achieve, risk versus the outcome versus success, the necessity of feedback. I was thinking about Hertzberg's hygiene factors and motivation factors, and the hygiene factors are pay and status and security and company policies. And then I was thinking about the motivation factors of achievement, recognition, growth, advancement, and interest in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whether it's a job of work or whether it's your own business. And then I was thinking about Maslow's hierarchy, and the psychological parts of it, the safety, the affiliation, the esteem, the self-actualization. And then I was thinking about Drucker's model on money, and Leicar on the authoritative things and benevolent, and the consultative and the participation in a group. And then I was thinking about Taylor, which I thought about when I mentioned Taylor yesterday, and I talked about the organization from the top down. That's Taylorism. And that's the historical way of running a business, and finding success is always about the success of the top, of the leaders, and not the success of the people who bring about the success for the leader. And then there's Agrias, which is the bureaucratic and humanistic and the democratic part of motivation. So when this person said they don't believe in motivation and they don't think it's a good word, I just thought, no, we do need motivation, but motivation is more about how you express yourself, how you bring other people on board. So without motivation, to me, there is no success, because you need to be motivated in order to want to achieve success. So that was just something that I wanted to bring into the conversation. And I intend to talk about each one of those parts of motivation in another broadcast. So if we get back to success and success principles, even success is about the questions that you ask. And if you ask a question, you will get a direct answer, even if the answer that you are looking for is not immediately available, because someone might answer you and say, give you an idea of how you could be successful. If they're asking you, how did you become successful? They might not be able to answer you straight away because it's a bigger picture, but they might be able to say, well, I can help you with that. I can put something together for you. I can find out some information. I can research. I can get some information together and show you how I was successful. Even though at that moment you've caught them on the hop and they don't know how to answer your question, at least you've got an idea of the fact that they will come back to you at a later time with the answer to your question. And the next part of success, which I find is one of the most important aspects of success, and the thing that stops us achieving success, is procrastination. And the most successful people in the world don't procrastinate. They take action, even though it's not perfect action, even though it's action that they fear taking. So, for example, if you wanted to be a broadcaster or do a podcast, the fear of failure stops you taking the action. So anything that you can do to bring about the action is really important. People fear success. They fear success as much as they fear failure, because success brings along with it a lot of responsibility, especially if people are relying on your success. So that's what stops people from achieving success, the biggest success, because they are frightened of what it's going to do. So they procrastinate, they make excuses, they take other people's points of view. I mentioned this yesterday, that not everybody in your life will want you to achieve success, because mostly they fear the success that you're going to have, because they fear that it might change you, and you might not want to be with them, or you might move away from them, because very often successful people attract other successful people, and they can leave behind their old world or their old life and move on into a different aspect to progression. And a lot of people who don't understand, because they've been taught that it's wrong to want success. They have a fear of success. They have a fear of money in particular, because that is the way that they've been brought up. They've been brought up to fear it. So I will go on about, in this broadcast, I will mention and talk about the belief system, because I think that's one of the key aspects to your success and your continued success, and that is your belief system. So if we just go on to the last point that I wanted to raise about the steps to success. As I did say about this, I did talk about action, and it doesn't have to be perfect action. It just has to be some form of action that's going to bring you closer to your goal, or closer to that thing that you're trying to achieve. So the last point about this is that your success or failure is dependent on the action that you take. And that depends on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So at work, in the ordinary 9 to 5, you can also have a fear of success. And you've just got to take action to alleviate the fear, because the fear is the thing that holds us back. So your success or failure is dependent on the action you take in connection with what it is that you're trying to achieve. And no one should tell you what you should or should not do, or tell you what not to do. The decision should come from you. So even if they try and dissuade you from doing what it is that you want to do, you can listen to it, but you should never stop trying to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And if you do decide that it's not what you want, the decision must come from you, and you must follow through with that decision. And that is a key element of success. You must take responsibility for not following through, because if you don't follow through, you won't have the success that you need, that you want, that is going to bring you the lifestyle that you want. If anything, it will keep you in the lifestyle that somebody else has decided you should have, and not the lifestyle that you really want. So the decision must come from you, and you must follow through on your decision, and never regret that you haven't followed through because somebody else has told you not to do it. You should never. You can take someone's, like I mentioned yesterday, you can take someone's criticism of what you're trying to do, but always take full responsibility of the decision that you make. So I hope that's given you some key elements to success, and some of the important parts of the mindset that you need to have in order to achieve success. So I just want to show you this this quote that is about, as I said, I mention that money very often. Oh, sorry about that. That money very often is only a tool. It will take you where you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. So that's really important. So if your success, if you think your success is about the money that you're going to make, if that's your key driver, always remember that that's not the key driver. You are the key driver to your success. Money is only a tool. It will take you to where you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. And also, remember that success is up and down. So it's not always easy. It's not always easy to achieve success. So when times are bad, the real entrepreneurs emerge. So I just wanted to talk about, I mentioned it earlier, about the belief system. So success is based around the belief, your personal belief about your ability. So if we look at the reasons why you might find it difficult to succeed, very often it's not about you. It's about your start in life and how you've been motivated to want to succeed. So you are basically, when you're born, you are an open book and you're ready to be filled with experiences of life. And those experiences will shape you to some extent. And they shape your personality, they shape your desire, they shape your motivation, they shape your development, your behavior. And we learn things in our early life in order to survive. And these things are stored in our subconscious. So if we are if we are the type of people who have had the type of parents who don't really view success very important to them, we tend to grow up with this belief system that we can't be successful because we have never been encouraged to be successful. And that's not your parents' fault. That's because of the way that they were brought up. We're not all brought up to believe that we need to be successful. And this is really the start of our belief system and our belief in our ability. If you talk to any successful person, they have this different way of thinking. They have this different way of viewing things. And they might have started off and not had a very good start to life, but something happens to them and they start to think in a completely different way. And normally successful people have come through adversity, because Napoleon Hill talked about adversity, and he said that out of all adversity comes seeds of positive benefit. He says something different, but I've sort of adapted it to my way of thinking. So out of everything that is challenging, there comes something that we are going to use in the future to bring about a change in us. So if we suffer from anxiety, if you're an anxious person, that is not your fault that you're anxious. That has come from your environment, from your map of your life, from something you've heard and something you've experienced. And that becomes part of your belief system. And you can't help being that. So no matter how much you want to achieve success, anxiety, if you do suffer from anxiety holds you back. So with the belief system, we can think about it in two ways. We have our external beliefs, which come from our environment, and NLPers, neuro-linguistic program people who practice NLP, they talk about your environment. So everything that you believe, your external belief system, comes from what you've experienced. And I believe that as well, as someone who works with people to help them end their battles with anxiety. So it all comes from your experiences. So if you've had a trauma, if you've had a traumatic childhood, if you've experienced trauma, if you've been in a traumatic relationship, if you suffer from abuse, if you've been bullied, if you've been hurt in some way, mentally, physically, you will have this belief that things can't change. But that's because of your internal beliefs. So this is what you believe internally, inside of you. And you have to learn to embrace everything about you, everything about your internal beliefs. You have to embrace it in order to achieve success outwardly. Yesterday, I talked about having a facade. A lot of people, we all have a facade at certain times. We never really truly put ourselves out there because we're scared of what people might think. We have this defense mechanism. People who are narcissistic in character, narcissism is about a defense mechanism. So you never truly get to feel comfortable with who you truly are. And then you put up this facade. And very often, if you're the type of person who doesn't understand that you're being that way, no matter what anyone says to you to change that, you won't allow it because that's just the way you are. And low-level people like that who have this lack of, they need control in everything they do, they don't even recognize that they are being controlling. So as I say, you have this external belief, an external belief system, and you have an internal belief system. So the external beliefs are those that relate to our environment. Like I said, so, and those things are about the things we've learned. So we understand temperature, we understand traffic on the road, we understand thunderstorms, we understand the power of electricity. We know what gas is, we know what coal is, we know what the grass is, we know what the trees are, because we've learned those things because that's our environment. And they also include language. So we understand language, we've learned to speak. We understand specific objects and the reason for them, and we understand cultural influences. That's why right now there's a lot of people who are very talking about racism, because that comes from the environment. It's not necessarily what we believe, it's just what we've been taught, because unfortunately we've been taught what to think but not how to think. And if more of us were taught how to think, we wouldn't be so influenced by what we see from the environment, what comes into our minds from external sources. So, for example, if I say that, I talk about this all the time, if I'm talking about ending the battles with anxiety, I always talk about the belief system, because if you were told when you were a child that the sky was green and the grass was blue, you would initially believe that because you wouldn't have any other information. You wouldn't understand that in actual fact, no, that's not right, because you were told that was the case, and you grow up believing that until you find out for yourself that that is not the case, and you find out that the sky is blue and the grass is green. So this is your immediate response, and you base it on this reaction. And it's because you've been told that the name we give the colour of the sky on a nice day is blue. It's purely because of your dependence on language, whatever language it is that you speak. Not the fact based on science, but the fact based on our visual perception. So as we learn more about colour, we know that the grass is green and the sky is blue, because we just learn the colours because it's part of life, like speaking and listening and all of the stuff that we learn as we develop. because we have this information stored. And then we see things. So when I say the sky is green, your conscious mind quickly puts up a defense mechanism, because you've learned to compute what it is. So you filter out all the stuff that you know not to be true. So that is what we call the conscious critical factor. So your conscious critical factor automatically, when I said the sky was green and the grass was blue, because you know that's not true, your conscious critical factor filters out that false information. So that's what you've got to do with your belief system. You've got to filter out what you know to be not true, because you know that the sky is green is totally unacceptable and ridiculous. So another interesting thing about your external belief system is, if you cast your mind back to when you were a child and you were told something like, oh, don't touch that, that's hot, or don't touch that, that's sharp, you would automatically just disregard that information, because it isn't something that you would understand until you touched that object and it was hot, and you touched that object and you cut yourself, and you would know never to go back and do that same action again, because you've learned that, in fact, that is hot and that will hurt, and that is sharp and you will get cut and you will bleed. And you suffer the consequences of your actions. You wouldn't run out in front of a car, because at a certain age you would learn that if you did, you would get run over. This is all to some people, this all sounds very simple, but it very much depends on your belief system. You know what's right and what's wrong. And your conscious critical factor will factor out all the stuff that it knows that is wrong, and it will allow you to know what's right. But you'll still test out things that you don't understand. So when I help people with anxiety and they say to me, but I am that person, I don't have any self-esteem, I'm not good enough, nobody loves me, they need to factor out, they need to just believe that that is not true. And that's sometimes difficult for people when they do have anxiety, because the anxiety takes over what is logical, because you are just purely concentrating on your emotions. So then we have the internal beliefs. These are beliefs that we acquire as we grow, that are associated with our personality and our belief in ourselves. This part of our belief system is built up by other people, sadly, who say or hurt us in some way. And unfortunately, sometimes these people don't help us build a positive belief system. Those of you who do suffer from this lack of belief in yourself, that is not your fault. That is part of your ancestry, it's part of your DNA. part of your parents and your parents' parents and their parents and their parents before them. It's interesting when you think about the belief system. If you think about a turtle, think about turtles when they're hatched. How do they know to run to the water? What is it that they know that will enable them to do that? Because how do they know that if they don't get to the water, they're not going to survive? They just have this innate belief in their ability to get to the water. And a lot of them don't get to the water. So why, as human beings, do we not have this strong belief that we can get anywhere we want? It's because we just have been told we can't. And some people grow up believing that they can't, when very often, if they're given the right information and the right support and the right motivation, they can definitely be successful. And often these people who sadly do give us the wrong information about ourselves, that's only because that is what they think about themselves. So they don't want you to be any different because they're frightened of your success. Whoever said, "Hi Sandra, long time no talk," it would be great if you put up your name, because you don't even have an image there. So whoever you are, hi. It's great to have you on my broadcast. And I hope those 5 people that are live if they've got any questions for me, or they disagree with anything that I'm saying, that would be, and they come on and put that in there, that would be great, because I like to know that people are challenged by what I say. And those one person who gave me the thumbs up, thank you very much. I don't know whether you know anything about HAPS TV, but you can give like recognition to the broadcasters, and this adds to the engagement. And the more people who you bring along to join in, the stronger the application will get, the more people will really enjoy what it is that they're listening to. There's so many things on HAPS TV, so many really good broadcasters, and they really deserve your support. So any support that you can offer motivates us, as though someone said there's no such word, they don't like the word motivation. I do, because you motivate me to want to do what it is that I do. So if we go on and add to the internal belief system, as I said, those primary internal beliefs come from your parents and your parents' parents and their parents, and way before man really understood their belief system. The 650 million years ago, before man had the capacity to think, they only just thought about procreation, the basic instincts of life, feeding, and building the world bringing more people into the world, long time before there was anything that we have to deal with, the things that we deal with in everyday life. Your basic brain, the reptilian brain, is over 650 million years old. So we, in this world nowadays, we have so many things that stop us believing in our ability to succeed. And if you do sort of, I don't know what people do out there for a living, but if you do have people in your life like teachers and bosses and authority figures who don't understand their it's almost like they don't understand the actions that they take have a negative impact on the people who work for them, or who's in front of them. So their teachers at school, if the teachers at school don't really know how to build your internal belief system, that is how very often you can leave school with not a lot of faith in the education system, and then you leave school without having learned much. But it's never too late. Never, never, never too late to learn. Because these people that you meet in life can either be self-esteem building or self-esteem destroying. And very often those sorts of people don't understand that they are being those people that will destroy your self-esteem. It's because they don't understand that they are doing that. Because to let you, for them to understand that they are maybe destroying your self-esteem, they have to admit that is what they're doing. Very often they don't understand it. They're just very controlling, and they don't understand that the control, the need for control, is feeding their action to make you feel bad about yourself. So they can be self-esteem building or self-esteem destroying. But how does this all work? So the concept of our belief in ourselves is repeated from an early age. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of learning, and it's usually backed up by people's associated actions. And the concept becomes part of your belief system because you have nothing to compare it with. And it affects the way you behave towards other people when you go out into the world. And this in turn causes them to treat us in a way that reinforces our belief. So it's almost like we invite it in. We invite this negativity in to our lives because it's all that we think we are worth in actual fact. So I don't want to I didn't really want this broadcast to be any longer than an hour, because you can't ever take in more than 20% at any given time of what someone tries to teach you or talk to you about. We just don't have the capacity to take in any more than that. So unless anyone's got any questions for me, I will come on again and talk about the positive concepts and the negative concepts of your belief system. So as I say, you can join me on Instagram. You can subscribe to my newsletter if you would like to email me. I can put you on my list to receive my newsletter, which is on anxiety and tips and tricks on how to end your battles with anxiety. As I say, I'll also bring on some therapeutic music, one track each month, and you can really come and listen to that. You can also join me on Facebook. I have two groups, the Power of Free 1 and Online Success 1. You can find me on there, where I talk about my passion for online engagement and providing super simple software solutions to your online marketing and engagement. So that's a Power of Free, Power of Free, FREE 1, and Online Success 1. If you'd like to subscribe to that, and I can put that in the chat. That's a Facebook group. And also you'll find my broadcasts on Facebook, on YouTube. Just put my name into YouTube and you find my broadcasts on there. And also you can find me on Instagram at Easypreneur. And on Instagram at BWRT Northampton. That's my therapy. Where I talk about my therapy on Instagram. As I say, the broadcasts go out live on Facebook. So those people that are on 6 people live chat, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, or wherever you are in the world. If it's in the US of A, you're 5 hours behind. It's now 4:40 here in the UK. Thank you very much for joining me. As I say, in the next broadcast, I'm going to carry on talking about the belief system and the positive and negative concept. Oh, and I did say that I would do a very quick exercise before about goal visualization. So when you have a goal, the easiest way to achieve it is to visualize it. The power of visualization is really key to getting to feel what it feels like to, for example, be successful. They say if you can feel it, you can be it. So just for a moment, I just want you to begin to get comfortable wherever you are. And if you feel that you'd like to, which I'm sure you will, as you listen to my voice, I just want you to gently close your eyes. And as you gently close your eyes, I just want you to take a few deep, slow breaths in and out, in and out, in and out. And just allow yourself to relax. And I'm going to speak to you for a little while, but all you have to do is listen and imagine. So just simply relax and imagine. Okay, I'd like you to think about a goal that you'd like to achieve. And a goal that you'd like to be successful in doing. And that wants to be something that you can accomplish in the next year of your life. Now, this might be an educational goal. It might be a personal goal. It might be a work-related goal. It might be a relationship goal. It might be a goal of starting your own business. But as you think about that goal, I want you to take a moment to bring this goal forward and to visualize it in your mind's eye. So now, with this personal goal in your mind, I would just like you to imagine yourself going forward in time into the future. Going forward in time into the future. Forward 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now 4 weeks. And it's now 1 month into the future. And you've started working towards achieving your goal, and you are on the clear road to success. So what decisions have you made? And what actions have you taken? And how does it feel to be on this road to success? Now, using your imagination, I want you to continue going forward in time. Going forward in time until you are 6 months into the future. 6 months into the future, and you are significantly closer to achieving your goal. And you're now starting to feel the benefits of all your efforts. So what is it like? How does it feel to be this much closer to your goal and this much closer to success? Just allow yourself to notice any feelings or emotions that are tied to this moment. Now I would like you to continue going forward in time. Going forward in time until you reach 1 year from now. It's 1 year from now and you have fully accomplished your goal and you have achieved success. Visualize yourself in your mind. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with, if anyone? What are the people saying to you? And what are you saying to them? And now I want you to ask yourself, how does reaching your goal feel? What emotions are you feeling to this achievement? Perhaps there are feelings of pride, joy, contentment, or satisfaction. Now, I would like you to look back on your journey. Look back on the process of achieving this goal. Just look back on all the hard work you've put into achieving success, all the effort, and just consider how you have reached your goal, step by step. Just think about the small things you did, the small things that you did day by day to achieve success. What did you do in order to achieve success? What did you do at work, for example? Or maybe think about what you did to achieve success in your relationships. And what did you do internally? How did you build your internal belief system to enable you to achieve success? And how did you manage any destructive and overwhelming thoughts and emotional obstacles to your success? What strategies did you have in place to ensure that you were able to achieve your goal and achieve success? And just take a moment, just while you're there, to consider the things that helped you, the things that helped you to, for example, manage any challenges that appeared along the way. That's really good. And now, as the exercise has come to an end, just take a deep, slow breath in and out. And when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. So brilliant. Welcome back. And I hope you enjoyed that little exercise. So anytime that you want to just think about what it is you want to achieve, just take yourself back and relax and just visualize it in your mind and start to feel what it might feel like to achieve success. Okay, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon. And I look forward to the next time we meet up. Bye for now.